When we do our artist talk videos for the gallery, I spend probably about 10 minutes talking with each individual guest photographer in a show. And I record those Zoom sessions and then edit the video down to 1 minute because Instagram has a limit of 1 minute for videos. That really leaves about 90% of what the guest photographers say on the cutting room floor, as they say. Recently, we received a comment on YouTube on one of our artist talk videos where someone said whether we'd really like to hear more from the guest photographer, that they have a lot to say. Also, in a recent meeting, one of my gallery partners mentioned that he would sure like to see more from the guest photographers and learn more about them. And I really have an advantage. I get to speak with each of our guest photographers for 10 or 15 minutes sometimes and spend a lot of quality time with them. And I'm the guy that gets to do that, so it's a lot of fun for me. And I enjoy getting to know our guest photographers better. Maybe I need to share some more of that with you. So I decided to go back and take a session I just recorded a few days ago with Jim Dusen, who will be in our next show. Jim is a great guy and fun to talk with, a great photographer, and he's been a real good friend of the gallery since 2007 that he's been showing with us. Jim is one of the few photographers in Rochester that can compete with me on the gray hair and the beard. So I've gone back to Jim's Zoom call, and instead of leaving 90% of it on the cutting room floor, I put all of it in this one. I just cut out some of the junk that I said that was not important. And here's a long version where Jim gets to tell you a lot about how he approaches his photography and his editing. And I found it really, really interesting, and I hope you do too. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Doing okay.
That's a good background. You're looking good there. So tell me about your show. What are you showing in this one? What do you have a theme or what?
No theme. Is this the 12th or the 13th year that I've been there? And the first few years, I was in the East Valley, the East Room, and the gallery, and the Newberger Room now. And that was sort of conducive to doing themes, which I did, but I wanted to get out into the main room. And so at least half the time, it's just you might say a hodgepodge of things. And once in a while, like a couple of years ago or so, it was a theme where it was all my old rugged Western portraits. And but this one is another variety pack.
Your processing style, I've said to you before, I love the edgy processing you do. You're edgy, but you're not quite over the edge, and it looks really nice. I mean, I can almost, and it creates a consistent look in a lot of your images. Generally, as soon as I see one of your images pop up on Instagram, is it Instagram? Yeah, or Facebook, wherever I see it.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah, I say there's a Jim Dusen photograph. I recognize it immediately, and that's good to have a photographic style, as you know, that's identifiable with you.
Yeah. I guess maybe because of my art background, when I was in high school, I thought I was going to be a high school art teacher, and whatever. But so art and graphics sort of enters into what I do. It's not. I'm not a pure straight out of the camera type person, and so I'm looking. What can I do to by working with the photograph to add some flavor to it? I think that's basically what I'm looking for. And
yeah, well, you've got a good recipe that you use because it's very recognizable, very identifiable. Like I say, I spot your photographs immediately, and it's a good, pleasant style. Your renderings of your photos are outstanding. I really enjoy them.
And that's good to hear because the subject matter, which I like photographing, is all over the place. So you might say, style-wise, I'm not into this or that. It stretches out, but maybe the way I treat the photographs is more the style part of it.
It definitely is. I mean, you can carry that your processing style across all different subjects, and it makes for a consistent production. I really like it. You do a great job. You're outstanding. I'm going to have to get you to show me how to do it someday.
Tell me my mistakes.
I especially like your photographs in this show. I've looked at all of them that you have there, and as I told you, horizontals usually work better, so I went through the horizontals. Sure. I really like the one you call Old Friends. You said there's a story behind that one?
when I worked at the college, probably you might say probably about 90% of the photography I did was people oriented. So I don't do nearly that much anymore for myself, but I do enjoy doing it when it presents itself. The type of people that I photograph now, like the old friends, aren't exactly the college administrative types or whatever. And I like people with character. Uh, these two gentlemen were at a Western shooting competition where everybody dresses up like the Old West. And with these particular, sometimes I approach somebody and ask if I can photograph and pose them. These two guys were just having a great time talking, just the way you saw. I just went up enough to introduce myself and ask, would they mind, and just go back talking and ignore the guy with the camera. So that's what I was going for, because these two guys looked like they were all friends, just having a great time.
Well, really, it worked out great. That's a great photograph. I mean, I like the other ones. I like the one you called, what was the trains? What was it called? Steam engine?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and the barn. I like that. I mean, and
yeah.
again, your processing style goes right across every photo that you submitted this time, Jimmy. I mean, it's
Yeah, the interesting thing about the steam engine, that's the Attica Arcades railroad, is that I was on a trip, and you get to one end and they turn the engine around for the return trip, and what they do for that is to hook it up to the back car, the last car, which was sort of an open type car where you could walk around and sit. And so what was happening is that the front of the engine was buckled to the back of the car, and then the engine went in reverse all the way back to Arcade. So I could get right up to the end of my car and just lean out and photograph the engine from a perspective you normally wouldn't see unless it's the last thing you saw. People think it's coming at you, but it's actually going backwards. I suppose the only giveaway, if you were really paying attention, is that the two flags on it aren't flying the way you would expect in the wind.
Oh, they're flying toward you.
But I've never had anybody point that out.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, that's it.
The steam engine, that's been out of commission last year and this year, because it has to go in for every few years for almost like a total tear down to rehab it and have it inspected. So last year and this year, they've got sort of a vintage diesel engine. Yeah.
Well, Jim, I've got everything I need to put this together. I've got way more than I need. I'll have to leave about 90% of this on the cutting room floor. You're an interesting guy to talk with, and he really did a great job with this. So I appreciate it. So anyway, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate your time, and I'll shoot you an email with a finished version of this when I get it done.
Okay, it's good to see you.
All right, good to see you. Take care. See you. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.